Well, this Christmas she invited some of us to her home to break bread together. And on her mantle I saw a Christmas decoration, perhaps an Advent devotion, that bore the words, "May the baby Jesus open your heart and shut your mouth." Beautiful, I thought. Maybe a bit simplistic. Other people, however, find hope in digging into that tension that words can create, in picking those wounds where words have cut deeply into Christian unity, hoping that through the struggle, a deeper healing might emerge. In the international ecumenical movement, diverse groups have intentionally gathered for this reason, to seek unity through deeper conversation and understanding. It has brought together Baptists and Reformed to talk about baptism, Lutherans and Catholics to hash out justification. These conversations are often a painstaking process, but in many cases they have led to some semblance of unity, at least some understanding of that faith which we and our neighbors so boldly attest to. And yet, what do we achieve as we reify that which we believe? Do we create false gods from the scraps of the faith that we gather in this trying world? Is it our own interpretations that we worship? Our own convictions that we cling to for guidance, inspiration, and hope? Or can we still acknowledge our confusion, our doubt, and our need to rest our weary heads upon something stronger than our minds can conceive and our mouths convey? In the prophet Micah's words, we are reminded of our call in this life, to live as humble pilgrims alongside our God. We are not called to distill God and obtain truth. We are not called to debate or vanity. We are called to a humble walk alongside the God whose vision created all facets of the world, who preordained a world of diversity, a world of rich textures and colors, of ideas and imagination, who can be praised by all she created, followed by all whose marvelous uniqueness he shaped and understood in a variety of ways, for it is from God that all manner of diversity comes. This journey need not be taken alone, this walk alongside God, for it is often best traveled alongside one another. Shortly before leaving Northern Ireland, I followed through on a New Year's resolution to run in the Belfast Marathon. Well, to be honest, to run in the relay version of the Belfast Marathon. And I called dibs on the shortest leg, which was at the very beginning of the race. I wanted to do this because I wondered how a marathon that wound through all districts of such a divided city could possibly happen. How could runners maneuver the peace walls? Would Catholics find threatening glances in Protestant areas, and Protestants jeers from Catholic locals? Would they even run alongside one another for the 26 miles, or would division find its way into this venture too? But at the starting line, I found a vision of hope, an embodied embrace of God's call. Thousands of people from all backgrounds, denominations, and politics gathered together not to talk or to debate, but to walk a difficult journey together, running the streets of Belfast as witnesses to what might be, to how life in this torn city might be lived. Diverse brothers and sisters accompanying one another, faithfully, intentionally, and indiscriminately, down the hard road toward the goal. In their humble journeys, the city was, if only momentarily, transformed. Our ecumenical struggle represents but one example of conflict in this world. But unlike debates of the secular world where ends are achieved through the eventual separation of winners and losers, we are called as Christians to model the radical example of Christ, who rather than seeking to win debate, often incited further conversation. conversation rooted in a humble desire to draw closer to God together. And so it is in this way that we are called to accompaniment, to a journey, sometimes with our feet and sometimes with our words. In this place, on this weekend, may we grasp this rare opportunity to walk alongside one another, diverse pilgrims humbly seeking to dwell in the presence of God. The end may not yet be known, but the path undoubtedly treads the way of Christ, so long as we seek to do justice, to love kindness, and to walk humbly with the Holy One, our God. May that way of Christ be our path today and evermore. Amen.